Good Monday morning. Welcome to your week 52 weekly setup. You have Team Jennifer on the call this morning for your final full week of December. Jennifer is coming to us from the Mayo Clinic this morning. We're sending good vibes to you, Jennifer. She's popping on, giving you a wave. Her husband's just going through a whole battery of health check-ins. So she's sitting in in the Mayo Clinic, and I'm so glad that she was able to still log on this morning. I'm coming to you from a very balmy Dallas, Texas. We lost a little bit of our winter wonderland, but it's okay. It's okay. We're excited to be here. And I'm really proud of you for showing up on a very, very busy week. So welcome. It's good, good, good to see you all. I'm not sure if we have somebody who might be new. Maybe you're treated yourself and got a brand new journal subscription for your own Christmas or holiday gift. If you are new here, please drop a me in the chat. I know many of you might be on a winter break if you're an educator, or you've taken the day off, you've got some vacation time going. Kimberly L says, I am off today and prioritizing her community, her Sonder community. So we're really just happy that you're here and proud that you made this time for you. And hopefully we can help each other get this week set up so that it is a happy, gentle, healthy week in all the areas in our lives. So Samantha, welcome. We are so glad she says I'm not new, but it's your first Sonder Social. So Samantha, you will find that this is a super, super great community because if you show up to these, you really start getting to know some people who are very like-minded. We know how important it is to take care of ourselves to be better for all the other people in our life. So welcome. I found this graphic that I wanted to begin our week with about just our December's lessons. What have we learned? And it says, as we are sitting in December with this theme of renewal, wrapping things up, getting ready to dive into a brand new theme in January, which is alignment. How beautiful is that going to be to make the move from how we view renewal into what alignment looks like in our life? Um, look at the on the graphic, reflect on how far you've come. Even if those steps were a little bit smaller than you had hoped, you did it. Know that it's okay to reach out when you need help. And especially when you come here, we always say, come as you are. Of course, we want to stay focused on our setup, but you are always welcome in a Sonder social. You don't need to have everything figured out by the end of the year. We'll go from the 31st to January 1st, another day. So take that pressure away. Believe that your presence, care, and love are gifts to the world. And again, talking about being in this community, that is a gift because you all share and support each other in such beautiful ways. Um, in December, we believe in the magic of new beginnings. That's perfect for renewal. And then also believe that good things can still find you before the year ends. So sometimes we might have to look a little bit harder than normal, but we will find those good things. So just wanted to kind of set our vibe this morning with that sweet graphic. Here are the community guidelines. When we gather together as a group, we do create safe spaces for one another. So if you'll just glance over those community guidelines, we do want to remind you, of course, be kind and courteous to yourself and others, and remind you that these times together are tools to elevate your emotional health through the power of community. Best community I know, one that's super important and near and dear to my heart. But remember, you're responsible for your own emotions, well-being, and decisions. If you have any questions about your Silk and Sonder, the journal, the product add-ons, that would be directed to headquarters at hello@silkandsonder.com, and they are working. So if you need to contact them, they are there today, tomorrow. And also one more little reminder, that bottom corner, it's okay if it's not the season to be jolly. The season makes everything feel a little heightened. And so just remind yourself, if you need to just take a step back, you can do that. It's not always jolly, and that's okay. I have been starting our December socials with the reflection that you can find either at the end of last week, or you can turn to your brand new week 52, the bottom of the page. So that'll be page 41 or 47. And this is that I am loving square that's at the very bottom on the very right hand corner. And I have been asking you all to share what are the things that you've been loving as we've navigated this month of renewal. Are you discovering new recipes, products? Are you into the best book you've read all year? Is there a show you've started watching that you love? Drop that in the chat. Let's share, let's connect, let's maybe, inspire some happiness and joyful feelings among one another. What are you loving right now at this very moment as we're closing out the month of December? Remember that you weave the magic, you create the moments, you make the merry, and you are the gift. So drop that in the chat. Y'all are kind of quiet this morning. I'm currently loving my hot cup of coffee. I was up really late. We did Christmas yesterday with my family, and my big kids are going to their in-laws for Christmas. We flip every other year. So my Christmas is over, but I didn't go to bed till 1:30 in the morning. So I'm a little tired. Christmas cookies, yes, not gobbling them down. Good for you, Abby. There's joy in the journey. Kimberly says she's got a new card game called Flip Seven. Okay, I'm all about card games. That's fun. Flip Seven, everybody. Yep, the big kids are home from college. That's always joyful. And maybe you're on just vacation. You have a couple of personal days off. And so you're like, I am just loving being in my pajamas today. The end of the year energy feeling, lots of good things, lots of good things. So Christmas cookies, kids home, love it. Keep dropping that in the chat as you fill this part out in your journey. Oh, Emily in Paris, you know what? I need to watch that one too, Victoria. There's so many good shows out there. So, speaking of customer care, I wanted to let you know they are on the job. If you need to reach out to them, it's hello@silkandsonder.com, and they can help guide you with gifting. And if you have someone in your life that maybe you think needs to know what the magic of Silk and Sonder is, perhaps you can pay that forward, or perhaps you treat yourself to something like the Elevate Planner to kick off 2026. So we just wanted to, call that out, that customer care is on the job. They're little elves in California at headquarters, and they can help guide you with that, or questions about our coaching app if that's something that you've been considering. Y'all are dropping some great stuff in the chat. Love that. Okay, so also you might want to mark your calendar and go get registered for a January exclusive led by Mayha on your New Year Real You Glow Up, your 2026 Glow Up. And so this will be January's exclusive. There's a nominal fee for that. But it will be in smack dab in the middle of January. So we'll kind of have this holiday season behind us. Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa will all be done. Maybe by the 15th, we've started putting away the decorations, and you'll be ready to kind of look at what a glow up looks like in your life. So, Jennifer's sharing that in the chat, that link, and that'll take you directly there to sign up for that. And finally, kind of our last, I guess we'll look a little bit at renewal next week. Next week's sort of a transition week, but I have use this quote all month about how everything looks like it's sleeping in winter, but really, when we are embracing the idea of wintering, we are embracing renewal and reflection. And like the trees, it's that inner work that's happening, and then it will blossom later on. So I hope you all are figuring out how to embrace this idea of wintering, of doing a lot of internal work, slowing down, resting, recovering, and being gentle to yourself so that you're ready to bloom in the spring and the summer. Our agenda this morning, we are finishing up the mind map. Next week's mind map will be a bonus question. If you're new here, the mind map offers you a different question each week that's not found in your journal. It's bonus content for coming to the weekly setup, and I'll show you all four questions. So if it's something you might want to grab and dig into, take a screenshot, and then you'll have those four questions. We'll do our rosebud thorn reflection, and then we'll do our weekly setup pages. So, we invite you to do this anywhere in your journal, maybe your sidekick journal. Yeah, Amber, yesterday we had the heater on in the morning and the air conditioner low, like in the evening when everybody was here because it was just hot. And ugh, Texas is so strange. We get all four seasons in one day. Um, Alrighty, so back to our last week. This can be done anywhere in your journal, on a notes page, maybe your week to week weekly scratch pad. Maybe you have that extra sidekick journal that you do these in. There are the four questions that we have examined through all 4 weeks this month. And week number four is, what is one thing you want to leave behind in 2025? This could be a negative habit, a mindset, a routine, anything that no longer serves you. And you might need to think about how you can forgive yourself or someone else in order to just let that go. And I was kind of teasing. I did this setup Saturday, and I said, one thing I want to leave behind in 2025 is about 30 pounds. And it, kind of joking about it, but honestly, the thing I want to leave behind is just these bad habits that I've established over the year. Many of you know my husband had two new knees put in. I've been playing nursemaid. I haven't prioritized me. And so it's time to kind of get back into the healthier habits that I need to be vital. And I know what to do. I just haven't done it. So my January alignment journal is really going to be my walk with that realignment with what I know is best for me. When I'm not taking care of myself, my rest, my nutrition, and my movement, I feel it, and it doesn't it ugh. So I'm gonna be that's for me. That's what I want to leave behind. So my joke is, 30 pounds, but really what it is I want to leave behind kind of these bad habits that are not helping me be my most vital self. So that's the direction I'm going. And I'm gonna sit with this prompt and actually answer the question, and why? Why is that important? And I want to kind of embrace what that means as I do leave that behind because of, I want to be strong for my grandkids. I want to be strong for me. I want to be able to get off of the floor every day. That's actually on my habit tracker, is that I've gotten on the floor every single day and I've gotten back up. It's gotten harder because I'm not taking care of myself. So I want you to really explore your why behind week four. And here are some good questions for letting go in the new year. So maybe one or two of these will help you frame out what you're thinking about as you look at renewing something in your life by leaving, and by leaving something behind that you might need to say, I'm sorry I did that to myself. I'm sorry I did that to someone else, and moving forward. So maybe these questions one might speak to you. I'm going to put on a little bit of music. You may not get finished with this prompt, but grab a screenshot of it. And remember, this is also being recorded, so you'll be able to access this. This could need to marinate in your head for a little bit too before you're quite ready to commit to paper. Feel free to share. Y'all are sharing some great stuff in the chat. Keep sharing as you're comfortable, and we'll start working on this reflection, and then we'll jump into the rest of our setup. What you've shared in the chat is so helpful for all of us because we all realize we're not alone. We're always going to be a work in progress, and to be able to do it alongside with the community cheering you on, it's just so powerful. I really want you to encourage you to think about what this week 4 mind map might be like truly as you pick up January's journal. We'll maybe dive into, the latter part of next week into this new journal of alignment. I shared with you that this month, my renewal, my whole journal was based on my Advent journey and really tried to embrace the spirituality of Advent. I set my intentions up around that. I'm planning to do the same thing with January, and the intention for my entire journal is going to be about my mind and my body and my spirit. I'm really going to lean into my personal health, and so it's going to become more of a thematic journal rather than my decluttering, my errands to run. How many times did I, whatever, reset the kitchen? It's going to be more about really focusing on the health and well-being of my physical self in all the aspects of rest and eating. So I'm planning to realign and kind of make a theme based on this week's question, taking that into the new year. So that could be something that you might want to consider, like really go heavy with that theme. So thank you all for sharing in the chat and maybe, what you can take from this to renew and align as we get ready for 2026 and, what you need. So let's take a look at our rosebud thorn reflection, which is found on page 44. This is a little mini reflection that we do each week over the previous week on how things went. I love, love, love this poem. And so another year comes to an end and you made it. Whether the year was good or bad, you made it. You got through 100% of your bad days, and that's pretty incredible. So if no one's told you yet, I'm proud of you. And I can't wait to see what the new year brings for us with both the ups and the downs. But we'll make it once again. And so I just wanted to set our tone for looking back over this final week, final full week with your roses, with the things that just brought you joy, that you're celebrating, something you did well, or something that just makes you super happy. You've already shared some of those things that you are loving. Maybe that's also your rose. And then your bud is what is coming. What is going to be happening for you. We had a really big week because we did do Christmas early, and my rose was my grand cookie day. It's a new tradition. I pick the kids up from early dismissal. They come here. It gives their parents a day to kind of reset because my grandkids are here. We make cookies. They spend the night. It's a mess. It's a lot of work, and it's wonderful. And so that sort of kicked off all our Christmas festivities. And so my bet is that I know rest is coming. And then my thorn is just, I'm not feeling 100% great. And so it's my physical health and vitality because of all the choices I've been making. So that's where I've gone. Your thorn is a challenge for you. It could be something temporary, but it could also be very long term. Sonia's been so great about sharing her cancer journey this year. And that thorn is always there. But she has this community supporting her, cheering her on, and so we want you to know that if those thorns are always there, we are here for you. You can also think about what is your learning from that thorn, and then sometimes they're just short-term thorns, and so those are the thorns that we love the most because they're going to go away. But then that reminder of that poem, you got through 100% of those bad days. So let's work on this for just a minute, and then we'll get on with the whole rest of our setup. Righty. We celebrate all those good things that have happened for you this week. Thanks for sharing. And hopefully the thorns will ease up. I just, Alice, the dental stuff. My husband actually has a crown that cracked, and his first job today is to call the dentist. I'm like, well, Merry Christmas. So, never fun. But we are just, we're here for you, and we celebrate together, and we can hold space for one another with those tougher things of life. So let's go ahead now and see what we can bring into week 52, which will be found on pages 46 and 47. I've got some very fun examples to share with you. You may already know exactly what you're going to do. You may have already set it up and you're just here to kind of do some finishing touches to your journal. But I will share some things from the Sonder family to maybe help inspire you. And I just love this because you know how in the holiday season, just even like society, everything just gets kind of weird. And so I thought this was kind of funny. There's another graphic. I got to see if I can find it about like I don't know what day it is, like after Christmas, is it the 26th, 27th? I'm not sure what day it is. And I'm full of cheese. And so that's kind of, that feeling that we get. But I love this one. Did you know that ancient Greeks set aside December 26th as Mother's Reading Day, a day of rest and books for all moms, but I was going to say for all women. And it says it isn't really true at all, but you can absolutely tell your family that it is. So if you want to take the 26th, yes, Carly, it's Blur's Day. You just don't know what day it is. So we're getting ready to also approach that season. So I put this here because I want to remind y'all that it's okay to have some empty spaces and maybe you give yourself permission to just take some days off from tackling a to-do list or working on a habit and activity tracker. Like it's okay to have some days of just like, I don't know. So just that reminder. Oh, Irish Women's Christmas. Okay, Heather, I'm going to make note of that. I'm going to go check that out when I'm finished here. So, lots of things that can go in this journal depending on what you're doing in your world. Like I mentioned, when I hit this month's theme for me was everything about Advent and really digging into my spiritual journey through the season. Next month's going to be my intention for resetting some health goals. And so my boxes and my spaces in my journal are going to be centric around, movement and nutrition. But you might see something on this list that you would like to incorporate into your weekly setup. Maybe caretaking tasks, some hobby time, a scripture of the day, a checklist, many checklists. So it's always about taking what you need. Let's start with thinking about how we want to feel this week. For me, I had mentioned that I am journaling this month through Advent. And so my final word is I was going to show you, I've done love, and I put the little scripture that supports our candle for week 4. And so that's what I want to feel this week. So perhaps you'll drop in the chat. I'm already seeing some merry, festive joy. I love it. Joy is great because when you choose joy, you feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. And when you do good, it reminds others of what joy feels like. So that's one of those ripple effect words. I love it. So y'all drop in the chat your feeling word for the week. I've got a little word cloud there to draw some inspiration. Now, as we go through these pages, know that when I put on some music for you to work on your setup, you'll have time to see these again. I'll scroll back through while you're working on them. It's time for some show and tell. So here are, some examples from our Sonder family. We're looking at to-do list. You can see the one on the right, actually the major goals, it looks like is more of a little bit of a to-do list. And then their weekly to-do list has become how they want want to be for the week. And then the one on the left actually has the idea of the three categories: mind, body, soul. So a goal for each one of those. And then their to do list is a to do list. And I want to just say thank you to anybody who is posting in Sonder Club, because that gives us opportunities to pull these examples for y'all. Look at those fun stickers. Yes, we love these stickers. And we always say stickers want to be stuck. And so maybe, you utilize stickers for these spaces. You can set goals down in that habit and activity tracker like you see on the left, but you don't have to set goals. You can just kind of track them as things happen. We've got a couple more here. Again, I'll come back. Speaking of stickers, look at this example on the left. The whole habit activity tracker not happening. It is a parking space for some beautiful festive stickers there. The one on the right, I love that because they want to feel calm. And to me, when I looked at their page, it looks calm. They kept things very simple and a way to focus, right? By keeping it simple. And so their habits and activities, they're doing four instead of filling in every line. And it looks like they're probably gonna yeah. Janine, yes, I can go back one, but I'm also going to go through these again while you work on these spaces. So let's move forward now into looking at what some of these things can look broken down. We'll look at the goals and the to-dos. I always have this up there reminding you you can go check your intention page, your trackers, your stop, start, and continue box. Have you done that from page 8, that lower section about what you wanted to start, stop, and continue this month? Could that be part of your goal setting? We also love that 3 categories. That's a really good way to plug in and determine your goals. And I always say this kind of the last full week of the month is a really good place to go back through your journal. If there are undones and you want to still do them, bring that forward. And so here, some other great examples for you guys to see. I love the simplicity of declutter, organize, and clean with the little Christmas lights just to make it a little festive. And we've got the 3 sections of, or the 3 categories of something to let go of, something to lean into, and something to learn. And then the word of the week, the feeling word was hope. Let's see. Here's how you can take your goals, put your goals down, and align those goals with your actual to-dos. So you can see the one on the left has color coded their to-dos to align with their goals. We see the one on the bottom right, their goals are, they're calling it their plan. And there are those 3 things. And then there in the goal space, there's like this little bingo board that aligns with the plan. And then I love a tracker. It helps me be accountable. And so the one on the upper left, you see that home, do a 30-minute tidy, and then they've done a little mini tracker there to do that check in with self. That just really helps. Things like that keep me focused. So love that. Yep. Heather, I've got like 5 years worth of Sonder examples. So sometimes some of these examples are oldies. So thanks for calling out. Glad that you noticed yours was here. And then that was Gloria who did the Easy Bake, Light Bright, and Dream House. So really embracing like that novelty and nostalgia with some of the toys from the past, and then color coded the to-do list to align with that. That was just a way of bringing a little joy to that space. And then the 3 major goals over there on the right, the word was happy, and they want to have a happy mind, happy body, and a happy soul. So beautiful ways. Here's some to-do lists. Maybe your to-do list doesn't go there and you reuse that space for something else, and you do your to-do list on the weekly spread. So you might spend that time setting your to-do list up like you see the example over on the right. We've got a little holiday to-do list there focused on health, home, and work, kind of those 3 goals. So love that. And then that big R is so much fun because it's all the R words: rest, reset, recuperate, restrict and reestablish guidelines or I'm sorry, reestablish routines. And then I also, we could put renew our spirits there with our finishing up this theme. You could also embrace duality with the more and the less mindset, like the graphic you see there in the upper left. So less stuff, more memories, less busy, more peace. So just that mindset, looking at that. Also, a rewriting of the holiday to-do list, or maybe your to-do list just calls for a sticker reminding you to go grab a hot cup of tea or cocoa every day, and you utilize your stickers for that. Or you need a to-don't list so that, maybe some good self stuff will be going on in that inner monologue. So you write the things that you don't want to do there. I'll go ahead and do habit and activity tracker, and then I'll go back through all these slides while you're working on this space. This graphic is habits of happy people, which many of you will see and align with a lot of the habits that are in that graphic. Things like eating the nourishing foods and celebrating your small wins, giving back, learning, connecting deeply. Perhaps you figure out ways to incorporate those ideas into your habit tracker. I love the one here, the little example there on the left. You can see that this Sonder family member is going to track the things that are in the journal, the daily rituals, the mood tracker, the habit tracker, the sleep tracker. So a way of pointing them back to these pages that they set up. I'm going to probably end up doing something like that with my habit and activity tracker on a week-to-week basis in January as I set up intentions and my habit tracker wheel. So I'm probably going to use my weekly habities to go and point myself back to those pages as I align with my health. Here are some great examples. Again, another shout out to filling the space with stickers or giving yourself some days off. It's okay to say no to some days, like that very middle graphic there. Perhaps you just circle days that you want some things to happen. If you'll notice the one in the upper middle, just they're tracking three things and they've circled the days that they want those things to happen. You can set goals like the one on the right did, that upper right corner, or you can just plain track. So it's really up to you and what will meet your needs for the week. A shout out to that dose, looking at, getting those good chemicals in our brains. And as you can see, this Silk and Sonder user is trying to spell the word dose every day throughout their tracker. So maybe you land on a word that has 4 or 5 letters in it, and your goal will be to spell out that word every single day. Doesn't necessarily have to be affiliated with getting these good hormones in your body. It could just be something like happy, and then you set your habits up to do that. Here is a little more information on getting those 4 happy chemicals in your body, as well as a dopamine menu. And Jen just dropped a little bit of information there in the chat for you. And then we have some habit tracker ideas. And I loved this particular graphic on the right because it's a low effort, high impact winter habits, which is perfect for this very busy week. So I'll put some music on and provide some space for you to work on this, and then we'll jump over to our second page of our setup. That last little bit of song was for the Harry Potter fans. That was Christmas at Hogwarts. So maybe you recognized that. You were like, where do I know that from? Alice, I love that you're spelling out Mary in your habits and activities section and the goal to spell Merry every single day in that column is going to really be inspirational to you as you tackle those things. So we'd love to see that in Sonder Club. I might, save that for for a year and it'll show up next December. Especially like how it looks at the end of the week. Like, were you able to do Mary every single day? So now let's flip over to this page two part of our setup. And as we say every week, this page is the one that tends to get a little more repurposing. You're always invited to use the spaces just as they are. But we've noticed, most of any repurposing happens on this page. So the things I'm going to share with you, even though they may be from the mind body health section, you might choose to put that in your menu plan because you want that space to write. Or you don't do a shopping list, so you turn that into something like a bingo, like both of these examples show. I love the snow globe in the mind body health. Again, stickers want to be stuck. And so sometimes that's what happens. And you can see both of these examples have used that space just for a happy little feel good sticker. It's always about taking what you need. So let's take a look at some of the things. Again, not an all exhaustive list, but some things that you may see in one or more of these spaces. Again, you can really be inspired by the intentions you set for the month, as well as your habit tracker wheel. Maybe something like that shows up into your weekly setup. So here's many examples of folks using this in conjunction with their nutrition. So either planning or tracking what has been eaten. Now, if you'll look over on the right, we have someone who's done that macro tracker there. So they're going to kind of break down their macros in this space. And then just below that, it's the Mind Body Health Plan. So they are using the Mind Body Health Plan as their menu plan for kind of the main meal of the day, which now frees up their meal plan space for a different purpose. So we've got lots of examples for you to see. Here this week, we've got a chore list. I try to change these up weekly. We've got a chore list here. We've got appointments, maybe a little mini journal reflection. One person is tracking their energy level, and so they're using the meal plan to sort of see where they are landing with their energy level. And in the mind body health plan is kind of a key. So if it's high energy, that gets a 5. If it's low energy, it's 1. And then you can see how they're rating all that stuff in between. And then maybe making some notes as to what they've noticed in conjunction with paying attention to their energy levels. Just that little reminder here, the mind body health plan. I say it's my selfish space. It's something that's going to feed m- kind of my soul, the reminders I need. Remember to pause to care for yourself too. Your rest doesn't have to be earned. And so that is something that I'm working on. Maybe that speaks to you. We've got some great examples of repurposing the space with things. I love the idea of a menu, which you see in the right-hand corner. Like you just make a list of the things that bring you joy. You don't attach it to any particular day. You can draw a line. If you take a nap on Monday, then maybe you draw a line from Monday down to the nap, but there's one each day. So however your schedule will align, 5 minutes for me or what I did for myself. Again, really great. ideas. And I also want to shout out to that outside because it is important. Sometimes we get so bogged down inside, we forget to step outside. And so there's a really good reminder to maybe go outside, take some good breaths, maybe stand barefoot if the weather allows, or sit on a bench for a little bit and just listen and notice. The shopping list is a really good space to make a bingo board, or I think that social check-in. I keep that one in pretty heavy rotation there because I do think having that accountability to check in on your people in your life, that's such a good reminder. You know how the days get carried away, and then we're like, I meant to call or text someone, and it's late at night and you didn't do it. And so that accountability can really help you with the connections that are in your life. Or perhaps you need something like a nightly reset, or this is just where you park your little washy scraps. I always think that's delightful. Someone else has put a scripture there. It's just really about what will inspire you. I shared this one last week and thought it needed to appear again. This is the idea of nestivus, which is a made up word, but it's giving yourself a day of reprieve from the pressures of all the socializing, holiday cheer, all that expectations. It's a way to provide yourself a little day of rest in your nest, and I've got some self-care things that you might be able to pop into that. Maybe that's what the 26th or 27th will look like for you. Or you can just take a couple of these things and incorporate it on that weekly spread to make sure that you're giving yourself a little bit of nestivus. We've got ways to boost your mental health around the holidays. You know, it's okay not to feel jolly, but make sure that you're taking good care of yourself. And here's some suggestions for that. Let's see. And then, it's dark out. Y'all, we hit solstice. The days will now start getting longer, and we're gonna slowly notice a little bit more light shining in our evenings than the day before, as we move to a new season. So, here are some things that help when it's dark outside because it can really do a number on you when it feels like it's 11 o'clock at night and it's only 5. And so, I did a couple of graphics that might inspire you to put some things into your journal to make those night times and that season of wintering a little more special with a mindset of embracing it. And of course, we always love ideas to hygge, that Scandinavian concept of all things cozy and slow and wintering. And here's how someone sets up their morning with a hygge mindset. They used their scratch pad for that. And then I'm going to put on some music while you work on this. And then we'll close up our time together. So we want to know all the things. We want to know what you do, how you repurpose, if you use things just as they are. And yeah, what does the week look like for you? You're going to give yourself some days off? What are you going to do to celebrate a little bit of rest in your life? The quickest hour of your week has come and gone. I want to applaud you all for showing up today and just carving out that little bit of time. And I would love to see your journal postings in share in Sonder Club. And I think it'd be fun to see like maybe what a completed week looks like for you as well, with all the bumps that might come your way. We hope that why do you come to these Monday morning socials? We'd love to know what inspires you, what you like seeing, and why you keep coming back. That's important. So share that and share in Sonder Club. Remember that that personalized coach might be a beautiful gift to self for the year. You can always reach out to hello@silkensonder.com. Jennifer's sharing the links that you will need to access the recording of this social. It'll probably be posted within minutes. And also another shout out for our exclusive that will be coming your way in January. Think about starting your new year out with Meha. We want to thank you for being here this morning. There's our music that we listen to. And just, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah. We are so proud to just be with all of you. Yes, happy Yule, happy end of solstice or winter solstice. I know that was yesterday, but we're leaning into that. So we just loved hanging out with y'all. It was good to see you. Make it a great week, and we'll see you back soon.
Yeah. Sleigh bells ring. Are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. A beautiful sight. We're happy tonight. Walking in a winter wonderland.
Here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus, right down Santa Claus Lane. Vixen and Blitzen and all his reindeer pulling on the reins.
Blown away is the bluebird. Here to stay is the new bird. He sings a love song as we go along.